crew, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm showing you guys how to roast a whole chicken, and I'm going to feed my whole family for an entire week off of one chicken. We're doing 3 different meals. However, I definitely could have done more, but we stuck with 3 this week. We did a chicken rice vegetable soup, chicken fajitas, and a homemade chicken pot pie minus the crust. It was a busy weekend, so I opted for a store-bought crust. But I'm going to show you guys how I made all of those meals, how I roasted the chicken, everything like that, how it lasted throughout the week. So if you're interested in seeing how I made 30 plus meals off of one whole chicken, then go ahead and keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I do videos like this all the time. I'll link down in the description box all of my previous videos that I've done using whole chickens. And give this video a thumbs up if you want to see me do this again with more meals, because I definitely have more meals in mind for a whole chicken recipe. Or recipe videos. You know what it is. But let's go ahead and hop into all the meals. So I'm going to show you guys everything I'm using to actually cook this chicken for the next week's worth of meals. So this is my chicken. It is just under 8, or right around 7.5 pounds. I paid $7.59 for it. It's still pretty frozen. I set it to thaw out about 2 hours ago. It's still really frozen. That's completely fine. I'm going to throw that in my really big roaster pot here. This is something I would roast like a goose in, or a turkey. This is my really big one. I have it filled about halfway up to the top with water because I'm going to be using the chicken stock that comes out of this for my soup base, as well as later in the week if I decide to make a pot pie. I'm going to need some of that to make into a gravy for my pot pie. So I'm going to throw in some celery stalks, some carrots, and that's what I'm going to use in my soup as well. I have about another half bag of carrots that I'm going to use in case I decide to make a pot pie. I got about half of this really big onion, some butter, and then my seasoning. This is parsley, Lorry's, pepper, and I'll link a video down below where I did this exact same thing in another video if you want to see me do it again, or I don't know, in case you want to see how that meal turned out. And then I also have my pre-cooked rice up here. We ate some of it for lunch, and I'm saving the rest of it for the rest of our soup. So it's going to be really easy to put together once we get there. I'll also link down below a video where I showed you how I make homemade dumplings if you want to do chicken dumpling soup instead. So that link will also be down in the description. So let's get putting this chicken together, shall we?
Never meant to love no one, but baby, I saw you for a second and I'm happy that you came my way. Don't wanna waste no time without you ever brightening up my days. Never meant to fall so hard.
So this is what my chicken's looking like with everything in it. This is the onion, a whole 16-ounce bag of carrots, about 3 celery stalks, a couple tablespoons of butter, my onion, and parsley, Lorry's, and pepper. I'm going to bake this in the oven. The general rule is about, I think, I have my oven set for 425. Sorry, we have... I will help you. Terrible 2s are the best time ever. But I'm just going to pop this in the oven, cover it, let it cook. And I did take the top rack of my oven out just because my thing is so big. Hi, dirty dishes. It's real life. So I'm going to pop my chicken in the oven and let it go. And I'm going to tell you guys how long I cooked it for and all of that. So this is what my soup looks like. Let me get my spoon here. I have in here some of that rice, some of the chicken, the carrots, onion, and the celery that you guys saw me put in the chicken. And I just took like a really big measuring cup and just scooped the juice and whatever came up with it. Dumped it in this pot with my rice. I also threw in some green beans that I had in my fridge. You could throw in anything you want. Joe's running to the store to get me some soup base that I'm going to throw in here. and I'm just gonna let it simmer for a while, let it sit. But I had to cook my chicken for about 3.5 hours because it was a really big chicken. But here's the rest of my chicken here so you guys can see I still have a ton of chicken left. And this is what we're going to eat off for the rest of the week. So, lots of chicken, lots of soup. We'll eat off the soup probably for two days, maybe 3. But I'm excited to see what else I can get off of this chicken. Okay, so this is my leftover chicken from last night. I have about 3/4 of a half-gallon bag here. And what I have going on my stove right now is 1 bell pepper, a whole onion, and a handful of button mushrooms for fajitas. I know mushrooms don't go in fajitas, but they're in my fridge and they're kind of looking a little sad, so I want to use them up. So I threw a couple in here. I'm just going to sweat them down in some butter and kind of caramelize them, and once they get really close to being done, I'm going to throw in my chicken and my fajita spices just to like warm up the chicken and stuff. A very different meal than what we've been eating the last 3 days with the chicken and rice soup. I just really wanted to switch it up because that soup was so good, but everyone's ready for something else. So this is going to be probably dinners for nights 4 and 5 off of the chicken that I made. So what I'm doing, because my chicken is a touch dry because this is the 4th day it's been in the refrigerator, I'm just adding a little bit of salsa and I'm going to mix it in with everything, the chicken, the peppers, all of it, my seasoning packet, just to kind of give the chicken a little bit more oomph, because this part is the chicken breast. So this is the last day for our leftover chicken, so I put all the leftover chicken I had in here with half an onion, a whole bag of peas, some leftover. The corn is all the way on the bottom there, but it's in there. I did buy pre-made pie crust just to make my life easier because I knew we were going to have a busy weekend, and that's what I needed this for. And on the stove right now I have about 1/4 of a stick of butter melting. I'm going to add some flour to it, and then I'm going to put in the chicken broth that I had when I actually cooked the chicken in here to make the gravy for the pot pie. I'm going to put the crust over it and put it right in the oven. So this is gravy, it's done. I added probably 8 cups of my broth, some more soup base, a lot of pepper. So this is what's left of the pot pie after everybody eating tonight. This is a really popular meal, so I think everybody ate 2 plates. But this is my leftover chicken gravy, and don't complicate making your gravy. Just put in some butter in your pan, melt it down, put in your stock, which is the broth from when we made our chicken, and just slowly add flour to it. It'll thicken as it cooks. Add in some more seasoning, some more spices if you need to. It's really a lot simpler than you think it is. So I'm actually going to freeze this and freeze the rest of my soup base here, and use this when I need more soups and different things like that. So that's what I'm going to do with the leftover chicken gravy, leftover stock. I'm just going to put the top on this and throw it in my refrigerator, and we'll finish this off tomorrow for dinner. So that is a full 7 days off of 1 whole chicken. And this is an 11 by 13 pan, so this is like a really big pan. I just got an awesome vibe, striking the winner post now. Liberty's on my mind. We've taken off, we've left the ground. You gotta understand.